Okay, guten Morgen. I'm going through the different tenses in class today, and I realized this would probably be a beneficial thing to record. What we're doing is starting with our present tense, that's presens, and I'm just walking through examples of basic sentences as we go through each different tense we've sort of learned. Some of these we have very little exposure to, others we are more comfortable with. So like the conversational past, ich habe Fußball gespielt, ich bin nach Hause gegangen, haben and sein plus the past participle to the end. Our basic rule for forming a past participle is ge plus the stem plus t for regular verbs, but we also have irregular verbs that don't follow that pattern. What we're saying is I played soccer. Was hast du gemacht? Ich habe Fußball gespielt. So we need to be able to conjugate haben and sein. Ich habe, du hast, sie es hat, wir haben, ihr habt, sie haben. Ich bin, du bist, sie es ist, wir sind, ihr seid, sie sind. Okay. Which did we learn after that? We learned the simple past next. Simple past. And underneath there, I'm going to write narrative past. Simple past or narrative past. In German, this is called two names, either Präteritum or probably more commonly imperfect. Imperfect. The word perfect, when we see it in grammar, refers to the use of a ge word. Any of these that have the word perfect in it are going to have a ge word, a past participle. So, example for following along, ich spiele Fußball in the present, ich habe Fußball gespielt in the combo past. In the narrative, that would come out as ich spielte. Ich spielte Fußball. And an irregular one like I went home, ich ging nach Hause. So with the imperfect, we typically add T into our verb conjugation. If we go down and do spielen real quick, ich spielte, du spieltest, sie es spielte, spielten, spieltet, and spielten. The main ways we use the narrative past are really ich, sie es, and wir, or sie. Those are all first and third person. This isn't used very much in the second person. It's not very common to use the do form because you're usually not telling someone else what they did in the past. You could ask a question, spieltest du Fußball, but saying that out loud it's going to be 9 times out of 10 hast du Fußball gespielt. Okay. With irregular verbs, let's take ging, for example. The ich and the RZS are both left alone. It's whatever you find on leo.org, the first one. So if you look up gehen, it'll say ging, comma, gegangen. And you just use how it is there. You don't add an E or anything. If you were to use the do, you add ST. For beer, we add EN. For ear, you add T. And for ZZ, EN. Gingen. How did that get in my pocket? Let's see, Marge Simpson, the Burger King toy. Thanks, Toby. So, back to this. When and why do we use the narrative past? Well, to talk about past. In narrations, stories, sequences. So if we got a lot to say about the past, yeah, we want to tell a story that's going to go on for a few sentences. We might switch to the narrative past because it's more efficient. If you're writing, typically going to do so in the narrative past. And how it's used, basically we need to focus on our conjugation. Reg verbs conjugate like below. Irregular must be learned, looked up. Now let's go to the future. The future is a little bit easier. I'm talking about future one. There are 2 futures. There's future 1 and future 2. Future 1 is simply just putting things into the future. And in German, they call that Future eins. And future 2. To do that, we use werden. Ich werde Fußball spielen. Ich werde Fußball spielen. I will play soccer. Wann? Morgen. Im Frühling. Im Sommer. Ich werde nach Hause gehen. Yeah. I will go home. Explanation. Talk about future. Of course. Rules. Use werden. It's almost crazy. It's got its own tense. What a verb. Where's the other verb go? At the end. I will play soccer. Common mistake English speakers make when trying to use the futures, they say, ich will Fußball spielen. What are you saying? I want to. Ich will Fußball spielen comes out as I want to play soccer. Yeah. Ich werde Fußball spielen is how you would convey the message that you're going to. Okay, down here, let's conjugate werden and try and get this thing cooked before we all die of boredom. Wirst, wird, werden, werdet, and werden. If you struggle to write small, this is not the chart for you. If you struggle to read from far distances, this is not the day for you. Yeah. Who needs sight? So let's first talk about the past perfect. So in German, this is called the Plus kaum perfekt. The Plus kaum perfekt. Yeah. Plus kaum perfekt. And if I wanted to use it with our example of playing soccer, I'd bring in the word hatte. Ich hatte Fußball gespielt. And to show the other main example, I wanted to go home using this, ich war nach Hause gegangen. The reason this is called the present perfect is because we use the present tense forms of the verb to get us to the past participle, to the perfect part. The reason this is called the past perfect is because we use the past tense, hatte and war, to get to the perfect part. It's kind of terrible, but it makes some sense once you learn what those words mean. So, ich hatte Fußball gespielt, ich war nach Hause gegangen. What are we trying to do here, though? We're talking about something that happened before something else. Ja, gestern Abend habe ich nicht gut geschlafen. Ich war sehr spät nach Hause gekommen. What am I saying in there? Yesterday, I didn't sleep very well. I had come home very late. So I'm starting in the past with, I didn't sleep very well last night, and then telling you something that happened before that past event. Is this a big common one? Let's say you take a 2-week trip to Europe and you're going to Munich and Berlin and King Ludwig's castles, and you're eating, 3 meals a day. You're probably not even going to have the opportunity to use the Plusquamperfekt in your experience there. So let's not stress out about this. In our book, we get a whole chapter on it, but nobody had really a big interest in doing voluntary remote learning about it. So it kind of fell to the wayside. in here somewhere. I'm too dedicated now, I can't give up. Yeah. So basically goes through with you hatte conjugations and waren conjugations. We use the past tense form of haben or sein and add a past participle. Your book is even bold enough to claim that the formation of the past perfect tense is quite simple. Yeah, doesn't say that too much. So leider hatte ich ihn nicht verstanden. I didn't understand him. We're talking about past tense events that happened before something else. But what we're basically saying is, I had played soccer. I had gone home. I'm going to conjugate hatten and waren quickly. Hatte, hattest, hatte, hatten, hattet, hatten, war, warst, war, waren, wart, waren. If you want to use the past perfect, you change your helper, your haben or sein to the past, and then use your ga word like you would before in the conversational past. All right, last one is the future zwei. Future zwei. An example here would be ich werde Fußball gespielt haben. Ich werde Fußball gespielt haben. The only thing we conjugate there is our second verb, werde. And what we're saying, let's put it down here. I will have played soccer. I will have played soccer. So what's the purpose of this tense? When would you ever say I will have played soccer?
You're talking about the future, but a past event from that future that hasn't happened for you yet?
Future plans that will likely happen. Man, ich kann auf das Wochenende gar nicht warten. Ja, am Sonntag werde ich Fußball gespielt haben. Und wir werden das Spiel gewonnen haben. Und ich werde nach Hause gegangen sein. Yeah, I'm planning out my future success. We will have played soccer. We will have won, and I will have gone home. Okay, so if I'm using we'll just do the one example. We do need to conjugate werden plus past participle plus haben or sein. We're so close to done. German word for the subjunctive is the conjunctive. Conjunctive zwei, we're gonna say there are two. Conjunctivines, I hinted, is very uncommon. So we're not really gonna put it in our brains. But the conjunctive zwei is most often gonna be used with burden. You bet it is. Example, ich würde Fußball spielen. It's used for hypothetical situations and being polite. And I'm gonna write here, würde, hätte, and wäre. Those are our three main subjunctive uses. Wäre is what's var or what's sein, to be. So var is was, wäre whiz, yeah. What would that come out as? If I said ich wäre a millionaire, I would be. Ich wäre so gern millionaire. Yeah, I would. Yeah. Verda gets the job done too, but we can use Vera when we maybe necessarily aren't going to use another verb. Yeah. Ich wäre müde. Another way to construct that would be ich würde müde sein. Ich würde müde und ich wäre müde do not have a lot different from each other. I will be tired. I would be tired. Ich hätte. What's hätte a future, a hypothetical form of? Haben. Hatte is our past tense form of haben. Hätte is our hypothetical. And this is used most commonly to be as polite as possible. The best way to order a pizza is to say, Entschuldigung, ich hätte gern eine Pizza bitte. Yeah, ich hätte gern eine Pizza is the most polite way to get a pizza. Ich möchte eine Pizza also uses subjunctive and gets you a pizza politely. Ich will eine Pizza, ich brauche eine Pizza are less polite. You got a chart now. And we are going to have a version of a quiz over these tenses. I would put our date at Tuesday, a week from today. And I'm okay if you have this with you. Be essentially an open note quiz. Remoties, I'm gonna take a picture of mine and upload it, but this won't be the last time we do all this at once. What I want you all to do with me now is take out your computers. So thanks for bearing with me through that boring lesson. We'll see you this afternoon on Zoom.